Reggie here, your friendly neighborhood bodybuilder and comic book collector, and I want to welcome you to another one of my live streams. It is Sunday night, and it is time for the Ready, Set, Go preview show, and I want to say hello to everyone out there that has joined me for this live stream. There were 90 some odd comments that were flying back and forth before the show even got started. I absolutely love that you guys show up early and just have a good time talking to one another. I think I saw a comment in there that said, don't get stabbed over some comics. There was a whole exchange about yard sales and dollar books that have been found at yard sales. Please don't get stabbed over comics. Don't put yourself in dangerous situations. And this is one of those situations where it is do as I say, not as I do kind of thing, because as you guys know, I have done some things for some comics. Anyway, it is good to see everybody. And again, welcome to the Ready, Set, Go preview show. This is the show where I basically give you a heads up on what's going to be coming out from the channel over the course of the week ahead. We talk a little bit about some news and some other current topics that may be of top of mind for myself or for you guys. And then we also give away a pretty cool book. Just about every week we give away something pretty awesome. And this week it is a pretty nice Detective Comics 1009.9. This giveaway is sponsored by GoCollect. So huge shout out to those guys for hooking us up and putting us in a position to be able to give away these awesome books every single week. I think I have a pretty good book for you guys for this coming week. So you definitely want to stay tuned after the drawing, because I'm actually going to show you the book that is going to be given away this coming week. So you don't want to miss that. So let me say hello to some comic book swojas that have joined us here in the room. And then we will get started with the little bit of news that we're going to talk about. So I see a couple of people throwing out here answers here. I think this is a continuation of yesterday's trivia night. If you weren't at yesterday's trivia night, you missed out. We had a really, really good time. There were 7 awesome winners that walked away, I think, with some pretty cool books, including a couple of really cool mysteries. So I see a couple of people throwing things out. Maybe that's what they were talking about. I'm not quite sure. So we're going to scroll up here and say hello to you guys that have joined. Victor is in the room. Victor, it is good to see you. Chris here is in the room. It is good to see you. Ariel is here. Johnny Future is here. Chris Bigger is here. Give me one sec, guys. One sec. Bear with me. Having a little bit of an issue here. Give me one sec. Scrolling down this new interface, I am still trying to adjust to this new interface, and there are things that I like to be able to do that I can't do because the interface is still relatively new to me, but then also still somewhat in beta mode. So so bear with me as I try to get this thing to load up the right way. Nope, that's not the one I wanted. One thing I will tell you guys, if you were following me on Instagram, you probably saw earlier today that I had some techs out at the house. I actually had some guys here installing another security camera on the house for me, but they also were able to run a line for me back here to the back room. So at some point very soon, I think somebody actually got that for me. I think somebody actually got that. So thank you if somebody corrected that, what was happening there in the room. So I had a guy here, he ran a security camera and he also ran a Cat 6 line to the back room here. I'm still waiting for my dongle to be able to connect the Cat 6, which is sitting like a couple of inches from the computer, but not quite long enough. And I certainly don't have the right port. So I'm going to be fixing that very quickly. But Victor Olan is here. It's good to see you. Chris Barrett, Johnny Future is here. Rush Die Hard is in the room. Chris Bigger is here. Ariel, Kyler, it is good to see you. Scrolling down, Tina is in the house. Rye, how you doing, my friend? It is good to see you. Hopefully you are back from that Star Trek convention that you and the girlfriend were going to down in Vegas. Sully Two Kings, it is good to see you, my friend. Welcome to the live stream. Scrolling through the names here, I think I've said hello to Ariel already. Lon Espinoza is in the room. Matthew, it'll be a great thing, brother, if you could stop doing what you're doing, because that is quite annoying. So thank you. I think somebody actually caught it already. Cuz Buzz is here in the room. Sammy is here in the room. Mr. Comics 89. Randy Resnake, how you doing? Carlos, it's good to see you. There's a new person here. 312, it is good to see you. Super Honorable Nephew, welcome to the live stream, my friend. Catherine Finnery is here. Catherine, is good to see you. Sammy is here. We have a ton of Chris's in the house. Gabriel is also here. Welcome. Vika, how you doing, brother? Beta Ray Comics is here. It is good to see all you guys. I want to thank everyone that is joining here in the room. I should have done one other thing. I want to see if I can pop back over here. I need to make a couple of other adjustments if I could. Let me see if I can do this thing. So I'm actually going to make a couple of people moderators here. A couple of awesome people that I've gotten to know behind the scenes. I'm bestowing the wrench upon you. So if you guys can kind of help me whenever you're here in the room to kind of keep things on the straight and narrow, I would absolutely appreciate your assistance and support. So I've bestowed the power to a couple of other people here. So there you go. Thank you guys in advance for your help with helping to kind of keep things on track. Because sometimes things go awry, and it's nice to have a little bit of backup. So we have not really a jam-packed agenda, to be honest with you. It's going to be a relatively light night. But I do have some things that I want to get to. But before I get to those things, I want to give a shout out. So if you are watching this on replay or you're watching this live right now and you haven't yet subscribed to the channel, I definitely want to encourage you to do so. That way you can stay abreast of all the content that I release from the channel every single week. And it also makes you eligible for the giveaways that we do on a regular basis. And so that way you won't miss out on anything. If you're subscribed, you've got your notifications turned on, you won't miss anything. So I want to give a huge shout out to my man, Dakota. Dakota has recently joined Team Gibbon. He sent me a photo a short while ago on the Instagram machine of his Amazing Spider-Man 110. Shout out to you, brother, for joining Team Gibbon. He joins my friend Tina, who also got a really nice copy just the other day. So shout out to you, Tina. And then I want to give a shout out to a new Patreon member, Connecting Comics. We did the trivia night last night, and trivia night was a ton of fun. It was a ton of fun. I think everybody enjoyed themselves. And we also, as part of trivia night, actually picked up a really cool member of the community who has been hanging out with us for a while. Connecting Comics went ahead and hit the button and signed up for Patreon. So I wanted to say publicly, thank you, brother, for supporting the channel. I absolutely appreciate it. So that's it for the announcements. If anybody else out there has picked up an Amazing Spider-Man 110, which is the first appearance of Gibbon, the mascot of the RegieCollects channel, I want to give you a shout out to make sure you send me a message showing me your Team Gibbon book. And shout out to Steven. Steven, we've got the t-shirt back here representing, and it says the Gibbon rules. Yes, indeed it does. Huge shout out to Steven for hooking us up with this shirt. Thank you, brother. I definitely appreciate that. All right, so let me see. The cover looks slick. Scrolling down through some of the comments here. Club Vika, my man Vika, who has been sponsoring this thing, is like, he wasn't able to watch it. He had to play chaperone for some teenagers. He's like, the eagle eye was needed. And so I think that was a very good use of your time, my friend. So sorry you were not able to make it to trivia, but I think your services were needed elsewhere, my friend. Thank you, Connecting Comics. I definitely appreciate that, brother. Oh, Mark is like, bro, you are coming in so clear. No more throttling for you. So I don't know whether it's the quality of the stream or the new interface that I'm using, but we have stepped our game up here and we are going to continue doing it. I am waiting for the little dongle to attach my Apple computer to this Cat 6 line that is sitting right here. So hopefully we will also improve because we're going to be off the Wi-Fi and we're hardwired. So fingers crossed that so many of our issues actually get corrected. I can't tell you how many times I'll do a live stream and it'll be grainy and it'll be good stuff. And then I feel really bad for those people that have to watch it back on replay and it looks like garbage. It really, really bothers me. And so fingers crossed that Amazon will actually show up here very soon to actually deliver the dongle that I need. Unfortunately, it didn't arrive in time for the live show, but it's all good. So here's the thing, Chris. I'm gonna tell you something right now, Chris. If you go out and you get an ape, aka a gibbon, you, sir, are on the team. You, sir, are on Team Gibbon. If you do that, keep the thing away from Vika. He has some bad memories of Johnny Future in the house. That's right, Johnny. You did pick up a 110. You did. Congratulations, my friend. You did. I forgot about that. I think there's been like 4 of you guys in like the last like 2.5 days that have picked up Amazing Spider-Man 110. So again, I want to shout out to all of you guys who have picked up your Amazing Spider-Man 110. Definitely love that book. All right, so let's keep this thing moving. So the only thing that I really wanted to talk about this week, because I hadn't really talked about it on my channel. I did it on No More Mutants on Instagram. I actually took some time to talk about the powers of 10. Talked about the powers of 10, and I shared on that show my thoughts about it, and I hadn't had a chance to do it here on the channel. So I wanted to take just a couple of moments to talk about that. If you guys haven't read this thing, you might want to do it. I mean, if you're an X-Men fan, I think it's one of those kind of new foundational books. I certainly wouldn't call it a key. I think it's a new foundational book that is laying the foundation for the future of what is going to happen with the X-Men in the comics, but also I believe what is going to happen with the X-Men when they come into the MCU. And I can tell you that when I read this book last week, this is House of X, I was so enthusiastic about the future. I was pumped about this. This was a really good foundational comic, but it was also a really good read. It was enjoyable. Had these wonderful interstitial pages, and I've actually released a couple of videos talking about that. Wonderful interstitial pages that tell you a lot. I love that one. And so when I got to this one this week, I was like, oh, this is going to be epic. And it was not. It was not. And Chris is saying it right here. He was like, Powers of 10 was a little bit of a letdown. And like you, Chris, I am still excited for the future. That is well said. That is the best summary ever, because that is exactly how I feel. I was so pumped for it. I read it, and I read it again, and then I read it again, and I was like, huh. Little bit of a letdown, but my enthusiasm has not waned for the X-Men. I think that they did the right thing. They gave us the House of X, which got us pumped, and they were like, check it out. These books are not necessarily the same. They kind of alluded to the fact that they're not necessarily the same, and you need both books in order to tell the story. I felt like at the end of Powers of 10, I had more questions. I had more questions than I had answers. Whereas with House of X, I had questions, I had some answers, but then I had a couple of other questions that were still lingering, but I enjoyed it a whole lot more. It was more of a true comic book to me. This other felt it was a little drier. It was a little drier, a little bit more foundational than what I thought that it should be. So what does that say? Here we go. So yeah. Connecting Comics is like the Powers of 10 basically kept the story rolling forward. I would agree with that, right? I think that you're going to get your next, at least I feel I'm going to get my next bump with House of X this coming week. And again, this is not to say that Powers of 10 was bad. It was to simply say that I did not enjoy it as much as House of X. Still good, but not as enjoyable as a read. At least that was my feeling. So let's see what Rye is saying. He's saying Powers of 10 was not as good as House of X #1, but a lot of first appearances that may be important later. Well said. I could not disagree with that. Could not disagree with that. I think that there's going to be even more first appearances that are potentially going to be coming as we get to some of the other House of X Powers of 10 issues. And I'm trying to refer back really quickly here. So I think we've had a couple of introductions to some of these characters, right? If you guys remember, these were some of those characters that were actually shown in the Seeds of Tomorrow. And we've actually had an opportunity in Powers of 10 to actually meet some of these individuals. I don't know that we necessarily have names for all of them. Like the one here is basically the librarian, right? The blue one is the librarian. And I'm guessing, one of these ascended mutants. I don't know quite what that person's name is just yet, but there are some important first appearances. There's no doubt about that. And we will see. We will see. Geek is like, yo, that was confusing. Brother, that is why I read it the first time and then read it 2 more times, because I was like, got a little lost here. It was so dense. At least I felt like it was so dense that I was trying to figure out some of the stuff and trying to figure out, was I missing something, that I really wasn't enjoying it as much as maybe House of 10, where I just went in and was like, oh, I'm just reading this to have a good time. And I did. So scrolling down through some of the comments here, Arrow's like, yeah, I'm looking forward to it, as am I, my friend. Victor picked up some of the connecting covers. Very cool. Did you guys see the one that came out from IG Comic Store? I think they're limited to maybe 600 covers each. They have basically recreated the connecting covers from the X-Men 90s cover. If you guys remember the really cool cover that was done back in the 90s with X-Men #1, they've actually recreated that with some of the characters that are now in House of X and Powers of 10. It's actually really cool. Really cool. So a couple of people having a little bit of discussion here. Scrolling down through some of the comments here. Oh, well said. Scrolling through some of the oh my goodness. I may have to do a show on this. May have to do a show on that. I don't know if you guys have seen that new Picard trailer. It is really, really nice. So here, Johnny Future is like, so what were those upside down panels? So the upside down panels, there were 3 flowers that are basically made, 3 different seeds that Krakoa makes for mutants. And one of them, I think it's called the No Place, I think it's called. And I don't quite know exactly what it is just yet, but we actually saw it play out in the Powers of 10. And supposedly most of the seeds that are planted for Krakoa allow for transportation and habitats, right? It feels like the black seed, which is the nowhere seed, is one that allows them to like be transported, but it's like a one-use kind of thing. Like you plant it, you use it, and then it's done. You can't reuse it. That's kind of the feel that I had from that. But it was like, because it was like a nowhere place, I guess it had to be treated a little bit differently than the other seeds, which is why I guess they had them like change the orientation to be upside down. Who knows? Jonathan Hickman, he's making stuff up, trying to keep us intrigued. Who the heck knows? So scrolling down through some of the I forgot to mention this. For people that participate in Trivia Night, all of the prizes actually went out. So I actually sent out all of these things to other people. The tracking number. So you guys should all have the tracking numbers by now. And hopefully all the books will arrive by like Wednesday or Thursday of this week. They will be mailed tomorrow, but some of you guys live a little further than others. So hopefully by Thursday, everyone will have them. But yeah, Closet Geek is absolutely spot on here that it was very much a foundational book. House of 10 was foundational as well, but it was still just an entertaining comic. It wasn't as heavy as Powers of 10. I felt Powers of 10 was heavily weighted towards information. The panels where they talked about the Sinister Line and some of that other stuff, and the Chimera and the Bloodlines. I mean, that was some pretty dense stuff that required you to spend a little bit of time reading it, unlike House of 10 or House of X, where they had some great dialogue pages. They would hit you with a brief interstitial page that kind of was additive to what you were reading, and then you were able to move on. It felt like Powers of 10 was a little heavier. It also had more cliffhangers. There was that whole exchange with Xavier, who else? Mystique and Magneto. And he was like, hey, we expect more, we need more, et cetera, et cetera. And then you turn the page expecting to hear what he needs, and there was nothing there. It was just like cliffhanger after cliffhanger after cliffhanger. And it was seeming like they wanted to focus more on like telling some of that futuristic story stuff, you know, because they're basically telling it, what is it, 4 different time zones kind of all at the same time. So I don't know. We will see. We will see how this thing will go. I have not seen this new Star Trek thing, Picard, but I need to, because that intro was incredible. Yeah, and here you go. John is like, it basically was, they're selling 2 books. Yep. They are 2 very different books that read completely different with 2 different artists. They are very, very different. And I think that they're definitely additive. They're adding to our understanding. They're adding to the foundation of what the X-Men will be in the future, but they are not a continuation of one another. Not exactly. You know what I'm saying? So there you go. So I'm scrolling through some of the comments here. Here, I'm wondering if this power of 10 in reference to year 0, year 10, year 100, year 1000 will end up bringing in some, who knows? That's actually an intriguing thought. That's an intriguing thought. That I had not considered that. Maybe I don't know. Connecting comics is, his theory is as good as any other theory out there, to be honest with you. I think that's one of the cool things about like what's happening right now, is that Jonathan Hickman is creating an air of excitement around the X-Men that hasn't really been there. There is a lot of intrigue. There is a lot of interest. There are a lot of people that are reading between the pages and reading between the panels, trying to figure this thing out. And I think that's part of what is making this so much fun. You know what I'm saying? Any theory that you can come up with, if you can connect a couple of dots, it's as plausible as any other theory out there. You know, I put out a theory the other day about the X-Men being pod people. I connected some dots. I told a good story. Who the heck knows if it's true? So here we go. Pull up the interstitial page that showed the reading order. So are you about to talk about the red? Are you about to talk about the red in the interstitial pages that show the reading order? Because I have a theory about that's where some pretty significant things are actually going to happen. I don't have it teed up to pull it up digitally for you guys to see it, so you have my apologies there. But this is the page that Lee is actually talking about. This is a page that is actually in both House of X and Powers of 10. And one of the things that I've kind of speculated is that whenever they show some red here or next to a character, I feel that actually has some significance, because nothing that they're doing is accidental. I think that there's something here that's going on. So House of X number 2, House of X number 5, and then Powers of 10 number 6 are all 3 books that have been highlighted, and they're highlighted in red. And the same, what really teed me off to this was when I was reading about Omega level mutants, and they were talking about Franklin Richards, and he was highlighted in red. And I'm like, well, why is Franklin highlighted in red? He is one of the most powerful Omega level mutants out there. And so my thought was, again, maybe there's some significance there to that. And I don't know, Lee, if that's where you're going, brother, but try to post up another comment so that I can comment on that. Ryan is like, I'm digging Rasputin. Rasputin is dope. Rasputin is dope. If you guys haven't checked this out, basically what it is Sinister is playing around with mutant genetics, and he is mixing and matching mutants. There's some bad stuff that happens that I don't want to give away, but he is basically making mutant warriors, and there are mutants with 5 or so different genes, if you will, from powerful mutants that all come together to make some pretty interesting characters. So yeah, I'm actually thinking about doing a video on the Sinister line, but we'll see whether I have the time to actually pull it together. Sully 2 Kings, Powers of 10 was a bit confusing for me. House of X left me more excited for the next issue. Absolutely agree with that. Ross, how you doing? Welcome to the live stream. It is good to see you, my friend. Here you go. Steven is like, you just have to wait to see how it unfolds. But as a content creator, brother, I have to create content, so I have to make some stuff up, Welcome to the live stream, my friend. You guys are hilarious. I'm scrolling through the names here, seeing what you guys are talking about. So yeah, I mean, it's definitely going to be interesting to see what happens this coming week. More than likely, I will be back at the comic shop on Wednesday with my face pressed against the glass, hoping that my friendly neighborhood comic shop owner actually opens up for me and welcomes me in with open arms. I went in and I shared with Josh and his wife at Crush Comics here, not too far away, some of my theories, and it was, I think they were interested and intrigued by it, and I think they were able to piggyback off it a couple of different ways, but they also had some theories of their own that they did not share with me because at the time I had not read Powers of 10. And so when I go back this week, we'll see whether we can have a more meaningful conversation. The drawback is that they read the issues before I get a chance to read them. So I'm like always a little off and a little late. But we'll see. We'll see what happens this coming Wednesday. I think there's a lot of people out there that are really excited about what is going to be happening with the X-Men moving forward. So we shall see. We shall see. One Shot Comics, welcome to the live stream. It is good to see you. It is good to see you guys. All right, so let's keep moving on. So this is what is going to be coming out from the channel this week. Comic Book 62, thank you for coming by. Chuck is like, open wallet, open arm. Well said, actually. Well said. But that, hey, smart business people. If I am standing outside with a wallet out, like, here, take my money, open the door. Oh man, well done, Chuck. Well done. All right, so let me get to some of the stuff that's actually going to be coming out from the channel this week. I think kind of sort of by popular demand, I'm doing a Q&A video, and this Q&A video is actually going to be on pressing. So what I did is I kind of kept track of all the questions that people were submitting in on the various videos that they were asking about this, that, and the other. A lot of the comments and discussion that was happening. And then I also put a post up on the community tab where I'm like, hey, if you have questions about pressing, submit those questions so that I can answer them. So I actually recorded a video where I'm actually going to go through some subscriber suggested questions around pressing. And some of the people that are actually here in this room actually submitted questions, and I answered those questions in video. This is the longest video that I've ever put up. It is a long video, but I think it's full of really good information. So my hope is that you guys will actually have a chance to watch it. So Stonecutter is like, Reggie equals the crazy neighbor with conspiracy theories. Brother, my ceiling is in here is full of tinfoil. Okay. Oh man, you guys are hilarious talking about Picard and the Ferengi. I am going to have to watch this new show. All right, so the pressing Q&A is going to be dropping this week, so hopefully you guys will get a chance to check that out. And as a follow-up to my Spec Gone Wild video, which I think was pretty well received by you guys, it hasn't been released. Wait a minute, has it been released on the podcast? I can't think about it. But I'm coming out with a follow-up video to Spec Gone Wild. And this new video is really asking a question of, can the pitfalls associated with spec be avoided, right? Either being enticed and sucked in and you put in a situation where you spend your money and you are unhappy with it, where you lose money, whatever it happens to be. The question is, can the pitfalls associated with spec be avoided? That's kind of what this vlog is going to be about. I'm going to do a Silver Age haul at some point this week. I'm also going to do what I'm calling an obscure AOK. Some people sent in some books to me that are first really cool. Let me just say that, but they are not necessarily the ordinary book, at least for me. And so I'm going to unbox those. And then also I included a little bit of a haul in that one as well. And then one of the other videos that I'm going to release this week is it's where I'm taking a negative and kind of turning it into a positive. So let's pause real quick. So this one, hold on. Oh man. So here I'm laughing at this comment right here. Kyler is like, hey Reg, thanks for the great live stream, but I'll lose again this week. Brother, you have trivia books coming. You are a winner, my friend. You have trivia books coming your way. You are a winner. So Catherine's talking a little bit about spec equaling a repeat of the 90s crash. So I have probably I don't know, 6 videos on this topic. I have some serious thoughts that they are not even close to being comparable. But yeah, I've dug into that topic a great deal. So if you guys get a chance, Catherine, I definitely encourage you to figure that one out. And if you can't find the video, let me know and I'll help you locate it. But there's probably 6 videos that kind of look at that issue, that question of 90s versus now in a variety of ways. So what I'm going to be doing in one of these other videos is I'm basically going to be taking a negative and trying to use it in a positive way. And the negative is that I was called some names by a subscriber a couple of months ago, and I don't think anyone even picked up on it. The person was basically commenting on videos and they were going back in time and they kept like posting the same thing up. And I'm like, hey, so like, what's the deal? You know, let's talk about this thing. And the person never responded, posted up multiple insulting comments and never responded to me saying, hey, so let's talk about this. Send me a message. I think I was even like, hey, let's jump on the phone and have a conversation. Because I've also done that as well with people that have taken exception to some of the things that I've done or said, because I'm not afraid of confrontation. I'm not afraid of being wrong and having someone correct me. If like I'm wrong, then I'm wrong. And I'll be like, hey, I messed up. But I was inviting this person to talk and the person just could not, would not comment back. They just chose to continue to insult. So I actually took that situation and I kind of turned it into a video. It's been a couple of months and I think the person is like gone away. So I'm actually going to turn it into a video. And I think it's actually a pretty good video, or technically a vlog. So hopefully you guys will enjoy that one. And when you see it, you'll know exactly which video I'm talking about. So hopefully you guys will get a chance to check that one out. So no, it's I mean, it happens. It happens. The thing is that it honestly doesn't bother me, you know, because I think, you know, I'm not afraid of having people disagree with me, you know, because I'm not always right and I don't know everything. My whole thing is, if I'm wrong, let's talk about it. Tell me why I'm wrong. Explain to me your point of view, because more than likely there's something there that I can learn from it. And that's part of the reason why I don't really like thumbs down, right? Because I think thumbs down is too simple. It should be like thumbs down with an explanation. Cause like, I want to know what it is, you know, because I think that there are lessons that can be learned from people that don't necessarily agree with you. And that's why I always talk about like civility here on the channel, because I don't want people to just agree with me. Disagree, I'm fine, but let's be civil about it, because I think if we can do that, we all walk away with an improved understanding of like what's going on. So, so scrolling down through some of the oh, Chris, you're a nut. He is. You guys are nuts. So yeah, that is going down. Those are some of the videos that are going to be released this week. I'm also probably going to go live at least a couple of times this week. You guys know I've been on a little bit of tear with the live videos because I absolutely enjoyed them. So I'm probably going to go live a couple of times this week. One of those videos, at least one of those videos, will be a CGC haul. I have an announcement, or not announcement, but I received a notice from UPS that my CGC order will be delivered on Monday. So I'm not sure if it'll be Monday or Tuesday that I'll go live with that haul, but at least one haul video from CGC this week, and probably a couple of other live videos as well. I released a podcast earlier today. So for those of you that are going to be driving into work tomorrow, you can actually listen to Me on the Go. The podcast episode has been released, so you guys can download that wherever you choose to listen to podcasts, because I'm pretty much everywhere right now. Snap Trade, how you doing? Welcome to the live stream. What is this? No more Death of Robins. I have depleted that inventory. So there are no more Robins, Death of Robins coming into this house. I had 23. You know, I mean, I think I've hit my limit. I may be at my limit for that kind of stuff. So, and I think that's it. I think that's it by the way of like announcements and things that are going to be coming out from the channel. But just as a quick reminder, we release videos every single day, Monday through Friday, always at 3:30. So just a little bit of a reminder there that if you do want to participate in some of the giveaways that we do, that is the way that you actually go about it. So I'm going to pop over here real quick and see if I can share my screen and see if we can do it a little bit quicker than we did it the last time. See if we can find this thing. I'm actually going to show you guys the list. So here we go. This is the list of individuals that actually were able to enter this week's Go Collect giveaway for the Detective Comics 1000. Here are all the names of the individuals. Scrolling down through this, you can see there's like 1,000 Chris's. There are literally like 1,000 Chris's here, but these are the names. I want to say it was like 200 or something like that, but we'll see in a moment. But this was the list that was posted up early this morning of all the individuals that were able to enter into the giveaway. So there you go. That is the list. And we're going to pop back. Can I actually show that now? Will that feed work? I've got to figure out how to toggle in between the different screens. So we're going to go here. We're actually going to roll our dice and see how many times we're going to have to randomize our list. And of course, we get 12. So that's how many times we are going to randomize this list. It's going to be a total of 12 times to figure out who our lucky winner will actually be. So let me go down here. Let me hit the randomize button. We have to do this thing a total of 12 times. So I'm going to scroll down. That is 1. That is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And the winner of the Go Collect giveaway for this week is Yamaha Joe. Yamaha Joe, you are the winner of this week's Go Collect giveaway. Hopefully you guys can see me. So here you go. This is what Yamaha Joe is actually winning. He is winning Detective Comics number 1000, a 9.9 with white pages. Definitely a really cool book. This is what he's going to be getting. This is a Forbidden Planets exclusive variant. And so he's going to get that. And then he is going to get an exclusive variant from Go Collect. And in addition to that, he will have the option of either a distressed Go Collect t-shirt or a really cool pin from Go Collect. So you either get the t-shirt, which comes in a extra large and a large only, or you get the pin. Those are your two options. So congratulations, Yamaha Joe. So I forgot to actually show the FMV for this thing. So let me try to see if I can actually do that. And we'll do that. Well, let me do this first. So here is the book. Let me show you this book. This is the book that is actually going to be given away this coming week. And so just as a reminder, the way that you actually win this book is that you have to watch the videos that come out Monday through Friday. And in one of those videos, I will, offer this book up. I will give you a phrase. You go to the community tab, you find the post where I'm talking about the book, you click the MailChimp link, you enter 3 pieces of information. 2 of them are personal and 1 of them is a phrase from the video. You plug that in and then you are in the running. Do not go and click on the MailChimp link and just post up a comment, because without the phrase, the entry does not count. And so you have to wait for the video that comes out Monday through Friday, and you have to watch that video, find the phrase, and then plug it in. If you just plug in a blank no response, you get nothing. That is not an entry. So just make sure you guys do that. But this book is, I think, a really cool book. It's a little bit of a spec book, and it's a little bit of an X-Men spec book, and it's one that I recently bought myself. And so I decided to give away a copy of it as well. This right here is Miss Marvel number 18. This is an 8.5 off-white to white pages. This is the first full appearance of Mystique. I think it's Mystique actually in uniform, in her blue within her uniform. This is the book that is going to be given away this week. So again, all you have to do is to find the video in which I say, hey, if you want to win this book, just grab the details from that video, go over to the community tab, click it, and then you are good to go. So here you go. This is the book, Miss Marvel number 18. This is the first full appearance of Mystique. It is an 8.5, definitely a cool book. So let me go over to Go Collect real quick, and I will actually show you guys the FMV for this book, and then we'll also look at the Detective Comics, because I just think it's cool to look that stuff up. So let's do Detective Comics first. Detective Comics 1000. Now, what's interesting, I think, about the Detective Comics is that there were no well, they don't have an FMV for the 9.9 just yet, because I think there have been too few sales of the book for them to actually have an FMV. The FMV for the regular that is 9.8, and you can see that the FMV is $70 over there. But if you click this thing, we'll go here, you can actually see that there's basically no data right now for a 9.9. There's no data there. So let me back up one screen. Then I think it's Analyzer that we go to. See if we can, there's a 10 here. There's a 10 here that you can see that this 10 actually sold not that long ago for $307. So that is a 10. Here's a 9.9. You can see that there's a couple of sales here. 149.93. There was a 132, a 172, a 186, a 182. So you can kind of see to some degree what this what the 9.9 is doing, and we try to offer books that are somewhere between 150 and, like, I think it's $200 or $250 from GoCollect. That's what the books are typically valued at. So you can see that there's been roughly 6 sales. It's down 27.7%, but definitely a cool book. You can see that the 10 definitely goes for a premium above the 9.9. And then I think the 9.9 actually goes for a premium above the 9.8. It's just the way that the magic works over here. So let's go ahead and pop over to look at the Miss Marvel. So we'll go Miss Marvel number 18. Hit the enter button and we'll take a look at this one, see if we can find it. Here it is right here. You can see a 9.8 of this Miss Marvel is $1,400. First appearance of Mystique and also an Avenger crossover. So if we click on the title here, we can scroll down. This book was an 8.5. You can see that the FMV for this book is $200. And if we expand on this thing, we can take a look at some of the sales data. You can see 125, 169, 140. Someone got a deal at 91, 125, 107. You kind of see that. And then somehow they kind of tabulate this stuff up and they come up with this FMV number of roughly $200. Not a whole lot of difference between an 8.5 and a 9. Not a whole lot of difference, but definitely as you go up the list here, you can see that you start to put some distance between things. My guess is that there's not a whole lot of those on the census, but I definitely have to check that to make certain. But there you go. Just a little bit of details on the book that is going to be given away this coming week. It is Miss Marvel number 18, 8.5 off-white to white pages. First full appearance of Mystique, who potentially is going to be a pretty important character moving forward in the X-Men franchise. You can already see her doing some things in House of X and also Powers of 10. So we will see what comes from Mystique a little bit later. Wayne McDonald, how you doing, brother? It is good to see you, my friend. Wayne has been missing a lot of our activities as of late, but it is good to see you. I'm not going to say why. I'm not going to say why, Wayne. I don't want to put your business out there. Tina, see, even Tina's like, we miss you. So Kyler is asking, I gave him the Iron Man 299. I'm sorry, 219. He's asking if it should be pressed. The book has a little bit of a spot on the front cover that I was unable to clean off. The book generally, I think, is in good shape, to be honest with you. You could be at a 9, maybe. You could be at a 9. I have not honestly looked at that book in a couple of months, but from what I remember, there's the one spot on the front cover, but outside of that, it's actually in pretty good shape. You would have to look at, of course, your cost for getting a book slabbed and then also the value of the book at the guesstimated grade to figure out whether it's a book that you want to grade based upon those factors, you know? But there you go. So you may want to look at that and just kind of see. So Snap Trade is asking about a Q&A pressing video. That is a video that is actually going to drop this week. It is actually a long video. I think it's like 24 minutes, I want to say. It is a long video where I actually answer a lot of viewers submitted questions regarding pressing. And I go through a lot of stuff. And that's why the video is so long. So stay tuned for that video. And if there is a need to do a follow-up video, I certainly can. But I think I answered maybe 10 or 11 questions in this video, and then also offered up some other tidbits and tips. So hopefully that will help folks that do have those questions. So Rush, you won't have, oh, that's Wayne. He's talking to Wayne. So, Chris Barrett bragging over here. He has been a multi-time winner on trivia night, and he says he feels like Thanos with his 6 wins. Well done, my friend. Will you cover? I don't know if that's directed at me, so I will attempt to answer that. Every book before I actually press it is actually cleaned. I have not done a cleaning video just yet. At some point, I absolutely will, to provide you guys with some insight into how I go about cleaning books. But right now, everything is related to pressing. The pressing process, there is no cleaning mentioned in the videos. Scrolling through. Michael's asking, what's up with CGC and the 15 book minimum for quick press? I honestly don't know. I honestly don't know why they have those limits in place. So you got me. I don't even know if that actually came up when I interviewed them, when we did the whole pressing conversation. I actually have no insight into why there is a 15 book minimum. My guess is that's, it has to do something with the financials. That's my guess. That's my guess. With the time commitment, that's maybe some kind of break even for them. I'm honestly not certain why they have that minimum in place. So sorry, I can't answer that one. Chris, thank you, brother, for coming by. It was good to see you. Hopefully you enjoyed the live stream. Scrolling down through some of the comments here. Victor's asking who my favorite X-Men is. It is Wolverine, my friend. Wolverine is probably my favorite X-Men of all of them. I kind of dig Havoc. I dig Bishop. I dig Gambit. But definitely Wolverine is by far my favorite X-Men. So hopefully that answers that one. Yeah, Brian. So I somewhat disagree with that, right? I somewhat disagree with that because I think that people have questions both about pressing and cleaning. I mean, if you look at the number of people that have actually watched the video and the people that have commented on the video and the people that have submitted questions to me, my feeling is that people have a lot of questions about both cleaning and pressing. And so that is my impression. And so one of the things that I don't want to do is I don't want to speak out of turn and provide you guys with some insight on how to do something without having my ducks lined up to really be able to give you some fair guidance. So that is the reason why I'm reluctant to give some details. But I think what you have to do is I look at the results. I'm a big fan of looking at results. And if you look at the results of the books that I've submitted to CGC and books that have actually come back pretty high grade, I have 20 books that are en route from CGC right now, and all of them are 9.8s. I feel very confident in the things that I'm doing, both from a cleaning and pressing standpoint. But there are some new techniques that I was introduced to that I have not had an opportunity to perfect just yet. And so I want to do a comprehensive video on how to clean a comic the same way that I did a comprehensive video, a 3-part video on how to press a comic. So that is part of the reason why I'm reluctant to do it. But I think that there are questions on both sides. I don't think that there's questions just about cleaning. So, oh my goodness, you guys are hilarious. Scrolling down, there you go. So there you go. Geek is on the same point as me, is that it comes down to a little bit of the financials associated with it. If there's a limit in place, that limit is there for a reason. You know what I'm saying? Scrolling down through some of the comments here. So there's a comment here about water stains can be cleaned. Again, that's one of those things that I've heard about, and I've heard from guys that have been pressing for long periods of times, and they've said that there is a way to do it. It takes a lot of work, but there is definitely a way to do it. And that's one of those things, again, that I have not touched, right? And I know that there's a lot of people out there with comics with water stains that are like, hey, what's up with these water stains? And there's people out there with rusty staples that are like, hey, can I clean these rusty staples, right? So there's all of these nuances there that I am not ready yet to speak on publicly. Those are things that I need to work on. And so hopefully people kind of get where I'm coming from. Scrolling down through, here we go. Geek is like, Havoc is my boy. I actually have a first appearance of Havoc here in the room that I just picked up recently. So stay tuned for a video on that one. Chris is like, Emma, who is your favorite X-Men? Here we go. Let's shout it out. Everyone tell me your favorite X-Men. Let's do it that way, because a couple of people they're like trickling in here. They're trickling out here. I don't think that movie is coming, to be honest with you. That's just my feeling. I don't think that movie, that Gambit movie, is going to come out. So scrolling down through some of the comments here. So if you guys get a chance, give me a shout out. Tell me who your favorite characters are. Brian is like, Colossus is dope, but is that your favorite? Is that your favorite X-Men? Scrolling down through some of the comments here. Mark, thank you for stopping by, brother. It is good to see you. Man, I'm telling you, so I have submitted roughly 48 books to CGC, and a healthy number of those books have come back at 9.8 or 9.6. I mean, yes, they were submitted to be screened at those numbers, but I'm still submitting those books, and I have out of 35 books, I had 3 rejections for 9.6s and 9.8s, 3 rejections, which is not bad. That is not bad. Zora, how you doing, my friend? It is good to see you. Scrolling down through some of the comments here. Catherine's like, I like the punk rock Storm. If you don't know the punk rock Storm, she's talking about when she had the mohawk, not the faux hawk. She had the real deal mohawk. Catherine's like, that's my girl. So Michael is asking questions about how to roughly grade a book. You definitely want to take a look at the video or the interview that I actually did with CGC, where I actually sat down with the head grader and asked him a ton of questions about the proper way to grade a comic. One of the things that I can tell you that is really challenging with grading a comic is that, you know, I can do it easier if it's here in my hand and if I'm holding it, but trying to hold it in my hand while explaining to the viewer on camera how to do it is a little tough. It's a little tough to do it. And I managed to kind of sort of get away with it in the video where I did the pressing videos, but grading comics is one of those things where you kind of have to get your hands on the book. You kind of have to get your hands dirty in order to really examine the book. So if you get a chance, if you search RegieCollects CGC, you should be able to pull up the grading comics 101 interview that I did with the head grader over at CGC, and that may help you. Oh, you know who's another dope character? Darwin. I think Darwin is a dope X-Men character. I'm telling you, I think he's pretty cool. Chris Barrett. Chris Barrett and Emma Frost. I hear you, brother. I hear you, brother. Scrolling down through some of the comments here. Here you go. And again, here you go. Connecting Comics is like, he has a Batman 181 with water stains. He would love to know how to remove them, as would I. As would I, my friend, because I've been told that it's possible by people that I've been pressing for years and years, people that own comic shops. I just don't know how to do it. Connecting Comics is also shouting out Gambit, that's saying it's his. Closet Geek is saying it's Vika. I'm sorry, it's Vika saying it's Emma Frost. Lee is like Wolverine. Bub, I got you right there. Really? Nightcrawler? Really? I mean, no, don't get me wrong. Nightcrawler is cool, but I don't know that anyone's ever said that was their favorite character. That's cool. That's cool. Nightcrawler is a cool character. He is, to some degree or another, Nightcrawler is like the soul, if you will, of the X-Men. And that's part of the reason why I dig him. Well, soul / moral compass might be a better way to kind of describe it. King of the Golden State coming in with Morph. I got you, brother. Scrolling down through. I think we are going to have a showdown in the streets for some Emma Frost. I think there is going to be a little bit of a fight here. All right, so Almighty Liger King is like, the Gambit movie has been scrapped. Again, I haven't seen or heard anything about that movie. I think that was just a little bit of hype around that one. I don't think we're going to see that Gambit movie, to be honest with you. But I mean, I would love to see it. I just don't think that Channing Tatum, I don't think it's going to happen. Connie's talking about Jubilee. Oh, that's what's up. A little Jubilee action. I dig it. Monty, I see you there with Wolverine. Tina is on Team Wolverine. Michael is rolling with Nightcrawler. Here we go. Another Wolverine guy. There you go. Uh-oh, here we go. Rye is like Storm the Goddess. Beyonce before Beyonce. Well done, my friend. There are a lot of Wolverine fans in here. Stonecutter. Stonecutter. So I said favorite X-Men. He's not on the squad. He's not even a mutant, bro. He's not even in the universe. Come on. Scrolling down. Here we go. I had a big crush on her too. I respect that. I respect that one. That's a legit comment right there. Victor Wolverine. I respect that. Little Nightcrawler and Wolverine. Oh no, Wolverine then Nightcrawler is a close second. I gotcha. With Rogue. Connie, didn't you vote already? I think Connie's just voting multiple times. Colossus from Tony over here, Wolverine in the brown and tan, the old uniform. I get that. What? No, he can't be on the squad. He can't be on the squad. Victor's just taking all of the X-Men from the 80s. He's like, that's my jam right there. Oh, that's a good one, Vika. Vika's like, back when Storm was in charge of the Morlocks. That's legit right there. So good stuff. All right. With that long shot, come on. Come on. All right, with that, I'm going to get myself out of here. It was good hanging out with you guys. And again, congrats to our winner of the GoCollect giveaway, Yamaha Joe. Yamaha Joe, make sure you send me an email to RegieCollects@gmail.com so I can bundle up your stuff. Make sure you let me know whether you want a large or extra large shirt. And if not a shirt, then you can get a pin. But I will happily box this stuff up for you and get this sent out to you. This awesome 9.9 Detective Comics number 1000. And again, guys, make sure that you keep your eyes open for this giveaway. This Miss Marvel number 18, 8.5. This is the book that is going to be given away this week. So make sure you stay tuned to all the videos that are dropping from the channel. And if you guys need me, make sure you reach out to me at RegieCollects on Instagram and RegieCollects@gmail.com. If you need me, I am not too hard to find. Take care.